I call Dr. Hutchison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to speak on this alcohol reform bill. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge all those people who've worked so hard right around New Zealand with the aim and objective of minimising alcohol harm, and in particular recognise the Law Commission for its work. Secondly, I want to acknowledge the good constituents of Whenua who have continued to have great interest in this reform bill, and even next Monday I'm going to be meeting with them on these issues. Have they been so interested? But I do make the note that there have been a spectrum of views, many recognising that 80% of New Zealanders do indeed drink responsibly. However, one of the things that did happen in Pukekohe over the last few months has been the sudden rush for licences prior to this legislation coming in, and that did indeed disturb a lot of people because there was nothing that could be done about it. And thirdly, I would like to acknowledge the unrelenting efforts of Professor Doug Selman and many medical practitioners right throughout New Zealand who remind us that this is a public health issue and that it will take a suite of initiatives to sustainably reduce harm. And Mr. Chair, I think it is really important to point out that this is not a single silver bullet issue. This does require a whole suite of efforts with an evidence base behind it. And that's one of the reasons, that it is so difficult to sustain a reduction of alcohol harm. We have seen perverse reactions throughout history in many jurisdictions right throughout the world. It's not as simple as tobacco, and I want to make that very clear. But, Mr. Chair, I think there is one area that I, particularly as a former obstetrician, am very concerned. I wish you'd stop screeching and just focus on the thing in focus. What I wanted to point out once again was this very worrying concern about what alcohol does to immature brains, particularly fetal brains. The younger they are, right up to the age of 25, we know that there is considerable damage. And I must say, I want to make tribute to the fact that the county's Manukau District Health Board has recently put in a maternity review and a maternity action plan. And one of their views is very much to go into the community and to look right beyond conception even, to have a robust, comprehensive reproductive health policy, and to make sure that young women and young men are aware of the problems that can occur to young fetuses so that they can make wise decisions themselves. But Mr. Chair, Professor Selman had 5 general policy directions, and they include, of course, the price of alcohol. And indeed, this is very problematic. No matter what Kevin Haig says, we have got the evidence from Scotland. It is not clear at all, and it is something that the government is looking at very carefully. The purchase age, of course, the Parliament has dealt with, decreasing the availability of alcohol, and indeed this bill does address that area. Decreasing marketing and advertising of alcohol, again, is being addressed by this bill, and increasing drink drive measures, which is an area that requires a clear evidence base behind it. And I do suggest, Mr. Chair, that it is very, very important that we do have those evidence base behind our policies if we are going to sustain a reduction in harm. But one of the areas that I do believe has been of particular importance has been starting with local communities, and it has been met with agreement right throughout this country so that councils will be able to develop local alcohol policies that restrict or extend trading hours, limit location and density of licence, impose conditions on licences premises, and people in the community will be able to object to a licence application in certain circumstances. So, Mr. Chair, I think those areas are of great importance.
I call Ian Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to